edition of the TimeFlies podcast. I'm your host, Dario, and the Dream Team is back. We got my guy Mike in the building. What's good, boy? How you been, man?
Chilling.
It's been a minute, bro.
It has been.
It's been
well, in minutes since we've been in the makeshift studio, but
in person, yeah. But go check out that episode. Me and Mike, we dropped one. We were talking about Nas's Magic 3. That was via Zoom. But like I said, finally got Mike back in the building, in person.
yes, sir.
It's the only way to do it. Before we get into today's episode, my guy Mike, just how you been? How's the family? How's everything? How's life?
Blessed, man.
Yeah.
Can't complain too much. So maintaining.
Maintaining.
So
Pushing through.
gotta push through. If you complain, you attract the wrong energy to your life. You just gotta keep pushing.
Oh, that's a bar. Jesus, that's a bar. You want to get into it? You want to get right into it?
Let's get right into it.
All right, bet. Okay, so let me start off with a little disclaimer. So, shout out to my boy Jeff and Rainer. Rainer, specifically, he's a big Drake stan. I was trying to get them on the pod and talk about the Boys album. We're going to be talking about hip-hop in 2023, hip-hop in general. We're going to go a lot of different places with this episode. But the first thing we're going to start off with, we're going to start off talking about The Boy. We're going to be talking about For All the Dogs. Now, Rainer, like I said, he's a Drake stan. And I was trying to get him on the pod, but scheduling just got in the way and shit. So Rainer, if you're watching this or hearing this, I'm sorry. But I've been trying to get my shit off, and I'm going to get my shit off right now. Okay, now I got that out of the way. Alright, so For All the Dogs, if we're talking hip-hop in 2023, of course we got to talk about the king of hip-hop. We got to talk about Drake. I think that's undeniable.
Undeniable.
Oh, and obviously...
Never saw a run like this.
100%. Obviously, chime in whenever. So yeah, we gotta talk about The Boy. This is one of, if not the most anticipated album of 2023. So going into this album, I was telling my boys, and we're in a group chat, and I'm like, yo, Rainer, I'm like, yo, The Boy has pressure on him. And Rainer was like, no, he's like, Drake can't have any pressure on him. He's a king of hip hop. Whatever he's gonna do is gonna go diamond, gold, whatever, right? And I'm coming at Rainer from the perspective of, all right, listen, his last 3 projects, starting from CLB, Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, and then it was Her Loss with 21. Certified Lover Boy was going up against Donda.
Right.
In my opinion, I think Donda got it by a landslide.
If we're talking about quality of music,
Correct.
1000%.
That's what I was talking about. I was talking about quality of music, and unfortunately, the whole Kanye, the whole Ye and Drake stuff, it was really like butting heads in that moment.
That was one of the climaxes of that. Yeah.
Exactly. So of course, the general audience, they're gonna pit the 2 albums together, since they came out around the same time. Whose album was better? I think, again, you said and I said, I think Donda got out by a landslide. The quality of music was a lot better. Drake, Certified Lover Boy was a good album, but it wasn't what we were hoping for from Drake.
It's what's become the expectation for a Drake album.
100%.
I'm gonna, because I know you've been waiting to go ISO on this. We'll further that conversation.
But we're gonna come back to that point exactly. Okay, so then after CLB, what's the album after that? Honestly Nevermind. Honestly Nevermind is, if you're a hip hop head, you know Honestly Nevermind is not a hip hop album.
There's a reason why he
which I'm not mad at.
The way he did.
Which I'm not mad at. I get it. Drake is trying to cater to different markets. He's trying to cater to fucking Ibiza, all the white people in Ibiza going crazy, and Mykonos and all that shit.
Yeah.
I like the album. My brother, shout out Diego, my brother, he loves house music. So like I kind of grew up with that music.
Yeah.
So I was kind of used to it. I wasn't mad at it. I liked a lot of songs of the album.
To that music.
Facts. So I wasn't mad at the album. But of course, if we're talking hip hop, you can't bring up Honestly Nevermind within Drake's discography. You're not gonna bring up the album. Okay.
He just had the joint with 21 Savage at the tail end of it, which was fire. What was the name of that again?
Her Loss.
No.
The song.
It was released as a Lucy originally, and then it came back. Jimmy Cooks.
Fire. Yes. And perfectly done. Nice little segue to the album after Honestly Nevermind. We got Her Loss, which is a joint album with 21. And the last song off of Honestly Nevermind, like you just said, Jimmy Cooks, was a prelude to Her Loss. Now, Her Loss is a joint album. It's not an album that Drake has on his own. Even though people say Drake has a majority of the songs, he's on most of the songs, 21 is barely on the album ad-libbing, right? in my opinion, it's still a Drake and 21 album. It's not
For
a
sure.
Drake album solo.
That's a joint.
So, you take that into consideration. So then I was telling Rainer, I'm like, listen, his last 3 projects have not been it. They have not been it. They have not been what the Drake fans, what the hip-hop fans are expecting from Drake, the king of hip-hop. It's time. We need a solidified classic. In my opinion, I think Take Care is his only solidified classic. With Nothing Was the Same really close behind it, I think you can add it to his discography as far as classics. But as far as undeniable, undisputable, I only have Take Care. And for an artist of Drake's caliber, the king of hip hop for the past decade, for the past 15 years, shouldn't he have more than one body of work that's an undisputable classic?
It's tough because you're contextualizing it with the hip hop that we came from, which isn't necessarily relevant to the standards of today. Where, in our eyes, something that hindered even the best rappers of our generation, the Jadakiss and the Fabulous, was the fact that they don't really have a classic album. I mean, Kiss, obviously with the Locks, you could argue, but in our
I'm gonna let you cook, but I already got a dispute against that. I'm gonna let you cook,
the rappers that we come from, they needed a classic something. Fab was very relevant in the mixtape circuit, but if you're talking like studio albums as they're projected, as they're released, you could say Fab probably doesn't have a classic under his belt.
No, I agree with you. Fab and Jada, they don't have classic albums as far as commercial releases. But this is where I dispute that. Fab and Jada were never where Drake is now. Fab and Jada, you feel me? So I feel like the comparison we can make, and I'm not talking about the kind of music they make, I'm not talking about what they say in their music. I'm just talking about from the standpoint of within the hip hop culture, as far as being the guy in the hip hop culture. I feel like you can compare Drake with Jay.
Yeah.
How long was Jay's run? Jay's run was damn near over a decade, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and how many classics, in your opinion, I'm asking you, because in my opinion, this guy is the music encyclopedia, not just hip hop. But in your opinion, how many classics does Jay have?
That could be debate. I think, okay, if we're talking objective classics, like to the masses, because I'm someone, and I think I vocalized this before, who, in my Lifetime Volume 1, I look at as a classic. The majority doesn't.
Okay.
Long story less long, I would say that the majority of people will say Jay's classics, Reasonable Doubt,
yeah,
probably Hard Knock Life.
Okay. This is the masses you're talking
The
about.
masses.
Okay.
Hard Knock Life.
You already got 2.
The Blueprint.
You already got 3.
And the Blackout.
You got 4. That's
I think
4.
that those are universal classics in terms of the masses.
So that's the masses. You're talking about the masses. You named 4 albums. And I think it's fair to say to the masses within the hip hop culture, Drake, I think maybe has 2. Maybe has 2. And I think Nothing Was the Same is a conversation. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like
in some
Drake,
circles, if you're reading this too.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You've heard this is a
I
classic.
actually think that that's one of his more revisitable, if that's a word, albums.
I like that album too.
I still go back. Like I'll still bump that in the gym. Some of that shit still goes. It's just it's a different hip hop, and it's kind of to that generation. And I know we're gonna go into ISO, but to that generation, that Cole, Drake, Wale, Kendrick that we always talk about.
Sean, don't forget Sean.
Sean, they're right at the cusp of albums mattering and then the game transitioning into a singles and a streaming game, so there was less emphasis on the album. But the rappers who cared about making albums still made classics. You still get a classic out of Cole. You still get a classic, undisputed, with the Good Kid, Mad City from Kendrick.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they were right on the cusp.
They were right on the cusp, so it's a
and then
different
official
game.
copies,
So
yeah.
you don't really need the classic album for the hip hop artist today to be the guy, unfortunately.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but this is
to us, yes, you do.
Because we're from an older school.
To
I get
us,
it, yeah.
yes, but to the people that he's appealing to with this
But
album,
listen to the names that you just mentioned. You mentioned Cole. You mentioned Dot. You mentioned Sean. I'm pretty sure you mentioned Wale, right?
of course,
Drake is in that class.
Yeah.
Drake is in that class.
Big time.
So he falls within the same parameters of coming out with a classic or not.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If like, I get it, Drake.
He should have. If you're asking me if I think he should have more than what he has as far as his catalog, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we're in agreement from there. And this is just my whole point with Drake. I just feel like Drake, being the artist and being where he is right now in the mountain of hip hop, he should just have way more certifiable classics than he does right now. And he's been shitting the bed. For me, he's been shitting the bed. And if you're the king of hip hop right now, like, I get it. If you've been on the you've been on the hill for a while, you might get lazy, you might get comfortable, shit might go through your fingers, right? I get it. But it's been crazy because Drake has been on this hill for damn near 15 years that I think he just lost sight of what made him the king of hip hop. And I'm not saying that he can never get it back, but this was just my gripe with Drake going into this album. I was going into this album being like, all right, like, let's see. This is like, for me, you had 0 for 3. Great albums. I listened to them. I'm not saying they're bad albums, but again, if we're comparing just like Drake's status in hip hop to others before him, we gotta hold Drake to the same standard that we did to others.
But you also understand that Drake is no longer even making albums since More Life. He's been making playlists. It's packaged like an album, but he's been making playlists.
And why do you think he's doing that?
Because he has to appeal to everyone, and he's got to get his streaming numbers. If he can get streams from this community, putting some real rap shit on there, like the Conductor produced.
Conductor, we have a problem. 8 a.m. in Charlotte.
8 a.m. in Charlotte, which is fire.
Fire.
And then he could have the SZA record. He could have, if he could touch all these markets, get the streaming in all places, that's the main objective. The classic album. And there's that infamous quote that not haunts Drake, but he knows exactly what he's doing. On Scorpion, what did he say? On Rose's...
Oh, my bad.
What was it? Sandra's Rose. He said, and I know a classic is just 10 of these. So he knows exactly what he has to do to appeal to us. He doesn't care.
Facts. No, and all the power to him. And yes, you brought me to something that I remember now. He said, he said he's never going to drop an entire rap album because of what you just said. He has too many different markets to cater to. But that's I feel like that's what's holding him back.
That is his gift and his curse.
Facts. If he focuses on one album, why can't he just drop 2 albums back to back? Drop a hip hop album, 10 tracks, 10 to 13 tracks, straight hip hop, boom bap. It doesn't even have to be all boom bap. It could be Boy Wonder. It could be 40. It could be any of these hip hop producers, right? And then drop another album back to back where it's purely R&B. He doesn't have to drop in one project half R&B, half rap. Why doesn't he drop one entire rap album, one entire R&B album?
He could do that, or he could do the Speaker Box Love Below thing.
I mean, yeah, true. But I'm saying,
I think he tried that with Scorpion. But,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. In one project, he had like 2 sides to it, and I'm saying like, fuck that. Drop an entire hip hop album, and then drop an entire R&B album, maybe within a month of each other, and then that rap album, if it's as good as we think it could be, he's gonna have the certified undeniable classic, and he'll be in the conversation now.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And he would be able to deliver. He chooses not to. That line told him. He chooses not to.
You're so right, man. That's his gift and his curse. But yeah, man. So that was my gripe. That was my gripe with Drake. Before we get into the album, because of course we're gonna break it down track by track. I've been listening to this album heavily as of late in preparation for the pod. But do you have anything that you want to say towards my remarks or anything independently, whatever you want to, wherever you want to go?
We're in agreement there. I mean, I think, from based on our standards, we all hope that Drake would have that across the board classic. Where, I mean, Take Care, to your point, is probably the most universally accepted classic because that's what carves out Drake as an artist. That gives the sound, that gives the context. That's really where he came to be with the assistance of The Weeknd. That dark, melodic, but Yep.
So, tell me your thoughts, initial thoughts, listening to the album. Did you like it? Were you disappointed? I don't think you were disappointed, but just tell me your feelings, your thoughts about the album when you heard it.
For all the dogs.
Yeah, for all the dogs.
Like I was saying earlier, this is what a Drake album's become. I haven't said to myself, damn, Drake's coming. Pause. Midnight? since nothing was the same. Because I know what to expect. We're going to get joints we really like out of this. Is it ever going to be a consistent through and through listen? I don't think we're ever going to get that from Drake. And so here you have your moments. Like I reference, because it's my type of shit, the Charlotte joint produced by Conductor, along with some other, yeah.
Conductor!
Nah, along with some other shit on here. Like there was some good, R&B shit on here. But I can't say I was disappointed because the bar is not there. Like I said, I know I'm going to get a couple of joints from Drake that I'll listen to forever. Because he is that level of artist. He chooses to, produce these albums the way he does. And so you get what you get. I can't say I was disappointed. I can't say I've listened to the entire album more than twice either. That's it. That's really where I'm at with Drake's albums. Like,
as far as just listening to Drake. Period.
Yeah, because I'm always gonna listen. I love Drake's music. Drake's one of those artists who defines an era in your life. For us, this is our 20s. This is our late teens, our whole 20s.
Facts.
Him,
still
like
going
that
at
same
it.
class, and he's still at the top of it. So I'm always gonna listen. I'm always gonna get something that I like out of it. But as a body of work, I like the cover.
Adonis drawing the cover. Shout out Adonis. But yeah, no, I mean, as far as me personally listening to the album, I'm right on par with you, man. Like, I liked it first time listening to it. I liked it. I wasn't disappointed. It's not that I wasn't disappointed. I just, like, how do I put it? Like, I guess I was just.
You want something else out of him? Were you expecting something else?
I wasn't expecting anything else from him, but I guess I wanted something more from him. Like, this album was kind of what I was expecting, and going into it, I wanted Drake to put out that classic album, but it's just another example of, like, he doesn't care. He's gonna do what he wants to do, and this is what we get, which is not bad music. It's quality music. It's great music. There's songs off here that I fucking love.
And Cole
coming.
smoked.
We're gonna get into that. That's one of my gripes. But we're gonna get into that. Just like another little kind of annoying thing that I'm kind of like over with Drake is like he's still talking about the same stuff about how girls have like done him over. So he calls this album For the Dogs, and everybody thinks he's gonna be rapping and going at everybody's necks on this album, right? Now, like that was kind of on us, the fans, the general hip hop fans and Drake stans, putting that expectation on him. But when you listen to the album, he's talking about the same shit. He's talking about
the women of the dogs. It's for the women who are dogging him out.
But he's talking about the same shit. He's talking about women that are breaking his heart, women that he tried to put onto like amazing things, material things, taking them to trips, and they break his heart again. Like, we've heard this song over and over from Drake, bro.
That tells me that he's bored with music and maybe at a standstill creatively. Because I feel like he talks about those things to latch on to the relatability that he had. Because that was Drake's whole thing when he first came out.
Dog, but it's 15 years later.
But the thing is, he's reaching.
What are we doing?
He's reaching for that connection point. I remember he said something on the Lemon Pepper freestyle about, not even being able to be relatable anymore. I think that that's a real thing in his head. So he goes back
to what he knows.
He draws from the original source, but it doesn't sound the same because when he used to do it, shit was fresh. The shit just, was a different perspective. Now it's like, I don't know that we're getting, genuine real life experiences, or if he's just giving us this because he knows that the large majority of people are just going to be like, yeah, I connect. But people who really listen, no, okay. You expect something else creatively from Drake because you know he is that level of artist.
Like, he's
experienced. I'm trying to avoid going on the same, Joe Budden rant because Joe had a perspective that was similar that I had too. But
no, but we're talking about Joe Budden when he was saying that, like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you're talking about the same stuff. Like, he's kind of like hanging around younger artists. It's like, you're not that young artist anymore. That's what Joe Budden was saying. But he has a point. But going back to the whole women breaking his heart, like, it's just recycled, bro. And you've had experiences in your life. You have a son, and yeah, he's incorporated his son a little bit more into music. But I feel like we should get a little bit more of that. And like, dog, you go from fucking the embassy that the house that he built is a fucking museum. Like, the experiences and the different perspectives that he can come from, but we're still talking about women breaking your heart. Like, what are we doing, bro? So I'm not a Drake stan. So again, if you're listening to this, leave it in the comments. Let us know a song, or I don't know, maybe a project that me and Mike maybe missed. I don't know how that's possible, but let us know about a song or something
They'll
that you might
probably
be
say
talking
so
about something
far
different.
gone.
Right?
That's where they'll go back to. But...
Right. All right, man. So now that we talked about a lot about going into the album, why don't we actually dive into the album? You feel me? So, first track, Virginia Beach. I think what I'm going to say is what everybody was thinking. Everybody thought he was going to open the track going at Push's neck.
Yeah, but I think even that's calculated. I think he names it that. He knows what people are thinking, and he just comes in the way he comes in. Like, so it's never as obvious as it appears with someone like Drake. Just like Kanye, it's never.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was cool though.
I liked it. I like Virginia Beach. Next song, Amen, featuring Tizo Touchdown. You like it? Okay.
I think it's one of the standouts.
Ooh,
I
interesting.
think it's one of the standouts. I think Tizo smoked that. I think that was one of the stronger efforts on the project.
Interesting. This is actually a skip for me.
Yeah.
This is a skip for me. Tizo comes back in a couple of songs, in a few songs actually. He comes back and he smokes it.
Yeah.
But as far as right now, I skip it. And you think it's one of the stronger outings for Drake?
It's one of the stronger.
Interesting. Calling for You, we pick up from the Her Loss collaboration. 21 Savage is on it. And one thing that I think this is like the first time that we hear it in this album where Drake does the beat switch.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, I don't want to say he's copying Travis, but he's going the Travis route. And he does that for a few songs on this album, where like the first beat is one beat and the second half is another beat. 21 is rapping on a completely different beat on this song.
Yeah, this is Jimmy Cooks too. Didn't they do the same thing?
I believe so, yeah.
It's
so,
the same formula. That, can we be real?
Jimmy Cook? What?
Calling for You is from the cutting room floor of Her Loss.
I like it though.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
It's cool.
it's a leftover from Her Loss. It was on the cutting room floor.
How about 21 though? 21's been on a run.
21's a beast.
21's been on a run.
21 has great chemistry with all the great artists of this generation. Him and Cole link up, fire. Him and
Grammy,
Drake,
yeah.
they always got some shit together. So 21 is it.
Underrated?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you think?
Because the whole image and the time he came out, he came with the class of SoundCloud rappers. The name 21 Savage very in line with the brand and the time that he came. But he's a lot bigger than what he's presented as. And he can rap. He makes great music.
Right.
He's got a sense of humor. He's got personality in his music. But time will be on his side. When people look back at his catalog, that's a catalog to look back on. Metro Boomin and everything.
Metro Boomin, want some more? Yeah. All right. So after Calling for You, this is to me personally, this is the beginning of a little bit of a run for Drake on this album.
Yeah.
Fear of Heights into Daylight into first person shooter featuring J. Cole. Okay, I don't know. Before we get into that song, I don't know if you have anything to say about Fear of Heights and Daylight.
Daylight was one of the stronger
outings
as well. That is a sequence right there on this album.
And Daylight, the end of Daylight, if I'm not mistaken, is when Adonis is freestyling a little bit. It's like, nothing with my man, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, but step aside. I was like, please step aside. Okay, so now let's get into the fucking smoke show. The smoke show. Yeah. Yo, nobody wants it with Cole right now, bro.
No. Why even allow him to be on the record?
Okay, so this is where I gotta, as much hate as I give Drake, let me give him a little bit of flowers right now. I want to give the respect to Drake for even allowing this to happen. Because if we're keeping it real, have we seen K-Dot have J. Cole on a song on one of his albums? No. Have we seen Big Sean have J. Cole on one of his recent albums? Or K-Dot? Or maybe Wale, I'm not sure. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like artists that are that tier, in our opinion.
Wale and Cole go back and forth.
They do, yeah. But the big three, Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. K-Dot doesn't have Drake on any of his songs, or Cole on any of his songs. Yeah. J. Cole hasn't had any Drake songs on his albums. The only one that I can think of is In the Morning. Was that off of his debut?
That was off a mixtape.
That was off a mixtape, but then he put it in Sideline Story, or no? Am I bugging?
It's been a while, bro. He may
have. Maybe. Right. But anyway, Drake, he puts J. Cole on his album, and he knows that when we see that feature on this album, everyone's gonna gravitate towards that song. Because like we just said, it's two out of the big three. We want to see who's gonna go at who. We want to see who's better at rapping. And yeah, like I said, it's a fucking smoke show.
But this song speaks to the whole thing about Drake. Drake doesn't give a fuck about us. He doesn't, because the thing is, Drake is a very capable rapper. I've heard it time and time again. He is. He's doing this. He's making the song the soul. He's laying the floor out for Cole. There's nothing Drake could have done with that Cole verse.
Wait,
Cole
so you're
was like
saying?
a man possessed.
So you're saying Drake laid out the carpet for him? It's like, yo, do you, bro?
Got it.
So he's running from the smoke.
Running from the smoke.
Ooh.
There's nothing he can do, but
no, you can't. No. There is
no.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say there's nothing wrong about that.
No, there's nothing you can do about it.
No, you can't. You can actually show up. That's what you can do about it.
Versus Cole,
you can try and show up.
You can.
And if he tried to show up,
he would probably do good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, guarantee you, if this was on a 40 style record, you know, the submarine sample, a little slower tempo, lemon pepper-esque, Drake's gonna try to rap. On a beat like that, you know you have no chance against Cole. Cole's gonna fucking bounce all over that like Spalding. Pause.
I mean, I get what you're saying, bro, but like, I don't want to use it as an excuse, bro. Like,
it's not an excuse.
You hear Cole going crazy saying that I'm 3-2, I'm the numero uno, and then fucking you got Drake over here talking about taking girls to dinner and being like, who to go? Like, yo, what the fuck, bro?
Like Muhammad Ali.
Oh, Cole, yeah. He said when things aren't connected.
Cole, like I got a job at IT, but that was a shot at I love Cole, bro, and I love him more in this era of his career than I even did before, because he has developed so fucking beautifully. In contrast to Drake, not to say he necessarily hasn't, but with Cole, like, his projects are getting better. His rapping is getting better.
No, Cole as an artist has gotten better than Drake. There's no question.
Cole is like,
you see the growth.
Man.
You see the growth within like what he's talking about. You also see the growth of his rapping ability, being able to rap in different schemes and different flows.
Exactly. And he cares about that piece of it, and that's what. But see, and I try not to apply my old school rules to this shit, but I can't help it. I love when a guy like Cole gets on a track and he's like, "Nah, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to kill you." The same way I love that no matter how famous Meek Mill got, he goes up to a radio station, what's he doing? He's gonna freestyle.
He's did it with Funk, right?
He just got done with Funk.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. I didn't see it.
He just got done with Funk. I like rappers who keep in line with my core values of this shit. When it comes to rap, like, you can get as famous, have as many hits as you want, but when it comes down to the essence of this shit, whether you're on a track with another guy who's a certified rapper, or you're up at the radio station, I'm coming for all of you.
Facts.
I love that spirit. I love that. Like, and I can't. And that's honestly, to your point, that deducts from Kendrick's legacy too, because I don't think Kendrick is aligned with that, or maybe he doesn't give a shit neither. But dudes like Cole, dudes like Meek, even Sean too. Sean's another guy. If he goes up to a radio station, he's gonna rap.
Yeah.
He's gonna rap, and let's not forget the whole control and everything that set fire to all this was because Sean had a track. Him, Kendrick, and Jay Electronica.
Yeah. Sean, we need you, bro. And we know you're doing your fatherhood stuff, and we love to see that. But we need you, though.
Yeah, and you know, Sean, even though like we can make the argument of who gets on tracks with who as far as the biggest artist, but I mean, Sean also had what was it, Detroit Cyphers on this last album, on Detroit 2.
Yeah.
So
like
he does song, shit that shows, yeah, I can have hits. Oh yeah, Marvin and Chardonnay, yeah, that's on, but I could rap. And that's something that it made me respect Sean after a while, because at first I was like, this dude's delivery's weird, his voice is fucking weird, he's got a weird thing about it. He raps his fucking ass off.
Yeah, man. So we love that class, Cole, Kendrick, Drake, Sean, Wale, all that. But going back to this song, man, again, it's a fucking smoke show, and I just like, it's a fucking smoke show.
He's like, yo, fuck all that, back to me.
Fuck all that. Back to fucking Drake getting smoked out of his boots from fucking Cole. Nah, man, it's just like...
No, that's true.
He did, and I get it.
He ran.
Huh?
He ran from the fight.
He ran from the fight. But I also want to throw this at you. What if whatever Drake rapped on that song, right? He was rapping. What if that was Drake's... He actually was trying. If he was actually trying, and it was on a different beat too, So I just want to throw that out there because people are gonna use that as an excuse, whatever. But what if we find out that Drake was actually in the fucking studio? Like, oh shit, I just heard Cole's verse. Let me try and pick my shit up, bro. If he like,
Nah, I don't think
that. I don't think so either. But that would be crazy.
I don't even want to know.
We
Drake,
just need to disparage.
Drake, I know you're listening. If that's the case, don't even tell us that's the case.
I'm just saying, we find out through some sort of blog. I don't fucking know. But
no, you can tell by the way
crazy.
Drake approached the track. He put his verse on the track first, and Cole came in it. There's no way you're talking about the shit you're talking about on that first verse, knowing that Cole just opened the asshole of that track. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, no, Cole went crazy. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about?
No, there's nothing more to be said. The fall off will be beautiful, I'm sure.
Facts, Cole. We love you, man. Okay, after that, we got I Don't Give a Fuck featuring...
I never want to hear this song again.
Really? Damn. Sometimes I find, like, we're so different. I love this song.
I never want to hear this song again.
I have never listened to Yeet. I still don't really listen to Yeet. But from what I've heard is the sound of this song is Yeet's sound. And it's very... It reminds me of the Travis Scott, but it's, like, a little bit more... electronic guitar-ish kind of wave, and
then that is a decorative way of saying trash.
I don't think that we talking about the song. We talking about that kind of music.
That song. I mean, probably that kind of music too. I don't know too much about.
I don't mind it, yo. I like the incorporation of different like elements of different genres of music into hip hop.
But it's been done before and it's been done better.
All right, not mad at your opinion, but yeah, I like that song. That's a no for you. This is 7969 Santa. This is where Tizo comes in. He's like, "Those will be those, though we may roam." Kills it. Yeah, fucking kills it.
Yeah, he smoked that.
Tizo, salute. Definitely killed it. Okay, now this is another gripe that I have. After that, we got Slime You Out. What? Not a gripe.
When you edit this, you gotta keep the gripe count. You gotta do that.
Maybe. I'll do that. Thank you. I like where your mind's at. All right, so no, this is another thing. So Slime You Out featuring SZA.
Yeah.
First, before I give my take, tell me your take. What'd you think about the song? What'd you think about? Because this was the first single, if you will.
That's the whole issue, though. That the song, if it was just kind of in pocket in the album, it still would probably be somewhat disappointing to me. But when you put it out there as a first single. You're just setting yourself up. This is not a first single track. And I mean, maybe that was purposefully done too, but in this day and age, 5 minutes and 10 seconds for the single. I mean, you see Drake and SZA, you know the history there. It's like this. You don't know really what you're gonna get.
So you were disappointed?
Yeah. I think SZA actually smoked her verse though.
SZA did smoke her verse, but I'm in agreement with you. I just feel like the song should have been better. And even within the sequencing of the album, it's still not what I wanted.
No. But it would have been, tell me not, it would have been better had you just heard it like that. Kind of
for the first time.
The album.
It would have been, yeah.
Right?
It would have, yeah. So I think that might be the general consensus with that song, in general. But like you said, SZA did smoke her part, but I don't know. It was just something about that song that didn't connect with me. Yeah. Like you said, Drake, SZA, you're expecting something. It's not that it's a bad song, but it could have been more. So after that, then we got Bahamas Promises. For me personally, it's not that I don't like the song, and it's not a skip, but I'm just kind of like, okay. Okay.
There's a whole lot of that after this. There's a whole lot of, okay.
Alright. Tried Our Best is kind of the same thing as far as Bahamas Promises. It's not a bad song, it's not a skip, but it's kind of like, okay. And then we got a nice little shout out to DJ Screw the World. Yep. Now, actually one of my favorites.
Drew Picasso?
Yeah, Drew Picasso is fire. I fuck with it. Drew Picasso, I like the tempo of the song. I like what he's talking about.
No, he's talking on this. That is something you can tell where he's drawing from a genuine place. Because it's just, you feel that shit when you listen to music. When you listen the way we listen, you can tell what's contrived and what he's just, Lord knows where he was just kind of writing that record.
One of my favorites. After that, we got Members Only, featuring Party.
Yeah.
Party's my guy.
Where's your fucking album, guy?
Parties? Facts. He dropped the song, I think maybe in the summertime. It was a random ass. Oh, wow. I was gonna say the name of the song is Turbulent, but it's not it. Whatever.
No, but he's dropped. I mean, I think he's given a lot of his.
The last two items of music that I know that Party has, he dropped his solo song, I think in the summer, and then he dropped a song with Diddy. It was like sex Porsches.
He was
some shit
on.
like that.
He was on the Love album,
which I haven't heard yet, bro. But again, going back to Members Only, featuring Party Next Door, it's not one of their better collaborations in my opinion. I like the song. I listen to it. But yeah, Drake and Party definitely have better songs.
Yeah.
What would Pluto do? For me, it's a skip. I don't fucking like this song. For you?
Whatever.
It's a skip.
I don't want to hear it.
And you know what's funny? I'm kind of seeing this on the internet that it's like it's one of the standouts that people actually really like.
My year is a lot different, I guess. I don't know.
I hate the way it starts too. It starts with a ding ding ding. With like, it sounds like a piano, but I don't know.
It doesn't speak to me.
And then after that, we got one of my favorites. All the Parties with Chief Keef. I like the way.
I like whenever you see Chief Keef kind of pop up. The way he's utilized is usually good. And this was one of definitely the stronger efforts on the album.
Chief Keef, I feel like he, I don't know if this is fair to say, but I feel like he's been getting a lot more respect as of late for being like one of the pioneers in like the early 2010s of introducing.
Exactly.
Right? And
because you're seeing the effects of these are all Chief Keef's children. These are all Waka Flocka, Chief Keef, Gucci Mane. That's the starting point for all this.
Shout out Chief Keef.
For better or worse.
So yeah, I like that song. You said you like that song as well.
Yeah.
All right, and now we get into. Is it your favorite?
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Produced by.
You do it. I can't.
Come on, man.
Conductor, we have a problem.
Conductor, we have a problem. Yeah, 8 a.m. in Charlotte. All right, talk to me, bro. What you liked about it? When you.
Yeah.
Because you know the timestamp Drake is a thing.
Timestamp Drake is a thing.
Talk to me.
As soon as I fucking heard the Conductor drop, I had to like rewind back with. Oh, okay. I guess that works too. You hear the soul sample. Drake in this tempo. He can't be fucked with. He's rapping his ass off. There was a couple of lines there when I was like.
Gripe number 5. Elementary bars. That's one of my gripes against the song.
Well, so the thing was, I felt like this was a beat where he could just kind of talk his shit, but he was trying to like experiment with his rapping style. Don't do it on there, bro. Just talk from the heart on this one. Like, what's the fucking bar he had? Something.
I got a couple.
He's using the European countries.
So many checks owed. I feel Czechoslovakia, nigga.
Like,
no, come on, bro. You go wherever I go. I feel you go. Come on, man. Nah, come on, Drake. We don't. Come on. We can't do that on a timestamp song, bro.
No, we can't. And that's what. Like, I think production-wise, this had potential to be top 3 timestamp. But I think the level of bars, and then when you size that up to 5 a.m. in Toronto, 4 p.m. in Calabasas, fuck, even 9 a.m. in Dallas. What was that bar about? Teenage, whatever. Drake, timestamp Drake is really a thing, and I'm not saying he didn't disappoint on this in my opinion. I think the record itself is fire. But bar for bar, it's not one of his better outings in terms of timestamp Drake.
And so this brings me to a point where I kind of just mentioned where there are some. It's not just in this song. It's in a few songs where you can point out some bars that are just like they just kind of sounded a little lazy. In Virginia Beach, it's not a bar, but he says something about like "Mama, you so hot, I want to put a baby in you," and he used some sort of like words to rhyme together, and I was just like, dude, I could have put that line together. And I'm not trying to come off as a Drake hater, but these are like the little things that I'm looking for within the album, within the songs that I'm like, I'm just like holding you up to a standard that I feel like you should be held to because you're one of the kings of hip hop, whatever.
And you've proven you could rap.
That too.
You've proven you could rap, so we need something from you.
So, okay, so 8 a.m. in Charlotte, I agree with you. I like the song. Anytime you hear boom bap, I'm automatically in.
Conductor drop. I really fuck with the fact that Drake did that.
That's
a little nugget to say. I still have my ear to the street in that regard. You got a conductor track. I also gonna come across it. There's obviously the Benny track that you only heard a leaked version of it on YouTube with Drake and Benny. So there's.
Are we ever getting that song? that was like 3 years ago.
If he comes out with like a Care Package Volume 2, maybe we'll get it. Or if it pops up on a Benny project, maybe. But I don't know. I think the moment's passed.
Yeah. Okay, so after 8 AM in Charlotte, we got BBL Love Interlude, and obviously this is one of the highlights of the album, where you get fucking shot. Sade Adu on BARJ radio. I was hyped when I heard Sade. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Oh, that's hard.
That shit was fire. And there's always been rumors that I think, like Drake's #1 artist that he's always wanted to work with that he hasn't gotten to so far is Sade. And there was always rumors that they were trying to work together. A Sade and Drake song. I'm in. Take my fucking money, bro. If we put together Sade's vocal ability, that's what I'm saying.
I don't have the confidence that it would be done right at this point, though.
I mean, what does that? If it's done right, what does that look like to you? What does that sound like?
It's hard
to
say.
You know?
I just know when I hear it.
I hear you, but yeah, when I heard that Drake has been a Sade fan and he wants to work with Sade, I was like, God damn, I want to hear that. Sade, my mom's a huge Sade fan and I grew up listening to Sade, so the fucking legend. And then after that, I think we got one of, if not the worst song on the album. And I don't know how you fucked this up. Bad Bunny's running the world right now.
And his album's fire.
His album is fire. So like, dude, this is like, I don't even let it play for a second. It's an automatic skip, bro.
It's a Patrick Ewing.
So, I know, right? I don't know what happened. Drake was wearing mad knee pads like fucking Patrick Ewing. Okay, gripe number 15. Next song.
From here on, I don't need to hear anything else.
Facts. Rich Baby Daddy featuring Sexy Red and the second feature from SZA. Why is Sexy Red getting on a fucking Drake album? And this goes to what Budden was saying, how like Drake is kind of like trying to stay young, where you don't need to stay young. You could just be on your own. You don't have to attach yourself to like whoever's hot right now. Sexy Red just popped off this past summer.
A little bit before that, but she has that grab, that appeal that Cardi B originally had, that like genuine hood rat shit. And I hate doing this to you because I fucking drag the pot out.
No, it's all good.
Something that I feel like Drake got from Ye, but can't do as well as Ye, is he takes pieces of the culture, things that are very much in the now, and he tries to incorporate into his albums. Like Ye always said, you listen to his album, you listen to Graduation, you see Wayne, you see T-Pain, because those were the guys of the time. He finds a way to fit those guys within the scope of his album, within the scope of his music. I feel like Drake does the same thing. That's why, from a culturally relevant standpoint, it makes sense to have Sexy Red on the album.
True.
But it's not done right, because that's one thing that Drake will never have a leg up on Ye, and it's the overall composer and the producer. That's Drake. That is Ye's standpoint, where he can figure out placement for these people. You heard it on Donda too. He fucking had everyone on there, and it was placed beautifully. And it was placed beautifully. He can still do that, and I think that Drake does attempt to do that. It's just not there. It's not, he doesn't have maybe the right minds or the right ideas in the room, and it just comes out like this.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just one of my things. I was like, I don't want to hear Sexy Red on a fucking Drake album, and I also thought it was too soon for her. Okay, so now this brings me to the next song, another late night featuring Lil Yachty. Why the fuck was Lil Yachty basically the rollout for this fucking album? Why the fuck was Yachty doing an interview saying like this is one of Drake's best albums? One of Drake's best verses are on this album. What the fuck, bro? First of all, we don't need you talking about Drake.
Yachty, circle back. Where was the verse that you were talking about?
And this is, but also I like Yachty, especially what
I like
he's
him as
been
a
doing.
personality.
You don't like his music?
No.
You don't like what he's been putting out lately?
Like if we're talking about the Secret Recipe joint with Cole.
Did you listen to that album he dropped in the beginning of the year?
That was good album.
That's what I'm saying. And
But
this kind of goes into what you were saying about Cole a little earlier, about how the growth within Cole, about the rapping schemes, the flows. I see that with Yachty. Yachty's starting to do that. He's starting to do it. He's trying to put his foot into like different genres, trying to incorporate it within hip hop, and I fucking appreciate that so much. But like as far as Yachty being the rollout for this album, it's like, bro, we don't need all that. And then on top of that, like I just said, you're saying that Drake's one of Drake's better verses is on this album. Like you're already like putting him behind.
Yeah, you set him back. You put him behind the 8 ball. You're saying I almost crashed listening to For All the Dogs.
Yeah.
Hey, Yachty.
What do you think about the song? No? I mean, I don't mind it.
It's cool. That's what I mean. Like, I think the Bad Bunny record, the Rich Baby Daddy record, no. These three, not bad, cool. That's my consensus for the next 3.
Yeah,
that's
I'm with
pretty
you.
much it.
Yeah, the last 2, Away From Home and Polar Opposites, it's just, yeah, I'm just like, okay, cool.
The album could be background music somewhere.
All right, man. So we talked about a lot about Drake. Just overall, just give me your favorites. Give me your favorites from this album.
Okay. I'm gonna go Amen. I'm gonna go First Person Shooter because of that Cole verse, and I'm gonna go Charlotte.
Those 3?
Those 3.
All right, so we're doing top 3. Top 3 for me, we got Virginia Beach, Drew Picasso.
So, you wanna go with the record?
I was you know me. I don't give a fuck with you. Yeah, man. And the Cole is just like, to me that's Cole's song, so that's why I'm not picking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the top 3 for me, man. Okay, so we wrapped up the Drake segment of the podcast. Drake, salute, being one of the kings of hip hop for the past 15 years. And again,
For sure.
if we're talking the year in hip hop, we gotta talk about the boy who's running shit right now. We want to see you grow, and we're talking about you like this because we're fans of music and we're fans of hip hop.
And we've never seen a run like this before.
Big facts.